a whole different universe was open up after I got that freaking email.
What's up, everyone? Shaq here for EDM.com, and you know who this is. Her debut album, The Code of Dreamz, drops June 6th. Our new spiritual leader in mind and body, handing out space candy to these bass heads on the regular. Zingara, how's it going?
It's going good. I love that
Thank you.
intro.
Thank you. Sometimes I prepare like days in advance, and then there are times like this where I came up with it like 10 seconds before the Zoom call, and I'm begging and hoping I can get it out in one go. One take,
That's,
right? You can tell the
yeah,
people?
that's a talent. That's a
Okay.
talent.
Appreciate it. We all have some you can like, some are more lucrative than others, some you can like translate into a full-time job. This is just like the cherry on the top. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm been home back from tour. I'm prepping for mission. I leave for Denver tomorrow. So just typical on the road, on the roll. So yeah.
How, I feel like I remember talking to Rez not too long ago, and she said she always knew that, like, for her as a homebody, much like myself, the touring was something she knew that she was going to hit hard and she was going to hit fast, and she was just going to get through it to get to where she wanted to be. Obviously, when you first start bubbling up, like, you want to take the opportunities you can get and you want to get your music out there. How has the grind of the tours and now the festival circuit coming up been for you?
Well, I guess I have a different approach to that. I genuinely just started this project purely for fun, not like having a course or direction I wanted to go on. And I've always loved performing. Like I used to be a dancer. And so when I got to the point in my project where I was able to tour, like it's been just a dream come true and just really great for me. I am definitely a homebody though, and I do have really intense anxiety. So like the traveling by myself was something to get used to, and it still is like, ugh, I have to go to the airport at like 4 a.m. But I, that sounds silly to like ever, complain about or act like that's like the end all be all. So, touring it's definitely hard, and obviously like it definitely takes up all of my time, this project, but it's all worth it. And I try to look at it as like little accomplishments and like
Mm.
lessons throughout it when it does get challenging and stressful, because every time you're stressed, you always get the work done anyways. So I'm like, why am I even stressed?
Yeah,
It's
there
gonna
we
be
go.
fine.
I like that. I like that self reminder. I look forward to digging into sort of your come up. But before we do, obviously, the Code of Dreams, you're a very big dream person. Shout out to my fellow lucid dreamers out there. I was looking at some of the other interviews you've done. I apologize to those guys for not writing down the source. But there's one thing I have to ask. What's
Yeah.
one big world event that your dreams correctly predicted?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so when I was a kid, when I realized I needed to write my dreams down, it was 2011. It was the huge tsunami that hit Japan and earthquake. I don't know what it was particularly called, but it's one of the biggest ones marked
Hmm.
in history. And the night before it happened, I was a kid. I didn't know how to spell tsunami. I had a dream where the word tsunami was, I was like, there was the ocean and I saw it. And then I basically lived through it from a woman's perspective. And then I woke up and I was like, that felt really weird, like real, what the frick was that? And I went on like AOL Mail and like the news that was because like AOL like and like email was like the thing.
Some people
And
don't know
so
what you're talking about. I just want
yeah,
you to know
yeah, like
that.
that, like before social media, it was like AOL and like emailing each other and your friends. And so I went on there and it was like giant tsunami just hit Japan that
Whoa.
caused there was an earthquake that turned it into a tsunami. And I was like, I totally saw that happen before it happened. And I felt like I was there. So that's when I was like, I need to start writing this down. There's just been different like personal like family deaths that
Hmm.
I've written down that have came true years later, and other like worldly events. Everything that's been going on right now, I had dreams about too. I just never know like what to say because before it happens, you sound crazy, and then
Yeah,
you
of
sound
course.
crazier when it does happen. So I just
Weird.
kind of, write it down and just keep note of it. But yeah.
I'll have to publish a book at some point with all like the accurate prediction. You're like The Simpsons.
Yeah, 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 for sure. It's totally an accident too, because some of it I'm like, I'd probably rather not know. And now when I have like dreams of things passing, I'm like, do I tell them or do I keep it to myself? Or like, what's happening here?
Like a That's
Even
So Raven
pets,
spinoff.
even pets too, yeah.
Okay.
And like pets before they pass will come to me in my dreams and like tell me and show me that they're gonna pass. Even like my friends' pets.
Oh,
So my
this is
dreams get freaky in here.
this
My
is a
subconscious
stressful
mind
power.
knows. Yeah, literally. Literally.
So much of your, I mean, I feel like we're already started digging into the source of it, but there's such a beautiful and almost like dreamscape atmosphere that your music has. And I was wondering, what can you sort of point to like the seed that blossomed this deep connection for you between spirituality and self?
Yeah, and so again, as a child, I started having dreams like that. I started having dreams with spirit where there was like, for lack of a better term, ghosts like in my house that I would start to see in person and see in my dreams. And so I had an aunt growing up who saw that I was having these experiences and she was like, let me teach you. She started teaching me about spirit, tarot cards, like oracle, astrology, witchcraft, like everything within like that spiritual like
Mm.
vicinity. And so yeah, as a young child, I got super involved. I was like the weird ghost kid. And I was a dancer too, so I'd make all my dances about like my experiences. And then with music, when I started to actually make my own music, I like clicked one day that I could start telling these stories through my music. And ever since then, when it did click, that's when my song Astro is kind of like birthed into the world and it stuck with people. And I was like, okay, maybe this is what I'm supposed to be like talking about. And, these experiences, talking about it and relating to other people ended up helping people. And at first, when I was a kid, I thought I was literally me and my family were the only people that had these experiences because everyone else around me was like, what the fuck? And I didn't know until I started talking about it online how like common it was. And so yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned off the top how the sort of acceleration of your music career was sort of like a happy accident. Like, you put out your music not really planning for much to happen. And it's funny, my wife often jokes that she should have my job instead because if I'm not on the clock, I am not on social media. So she's the one who's usually filling me in. And I actually sent you an unsolicited DM like 2 years ago telling you that at the time my girlfriend had shown me that TikTok and that track, and we had just started like diving down the Zingara catalog. So shout out to the wife because she's the one who keeps me
Hell
employed and keeps me informed.
yeah.
Um, Walk me through. I was talking to Ray Volpe about this like last week about the sort of weird. Some artists feel like they make music for social media. Some artists are hesitant to tie social media into their music. As someone who's maybe like Ray Volpe and I, a little more in tune with this generation, how do you strike the balance between
Hmm.
promoting your music on social media, being authentic on social media, but still also making music that you feel can stand separate to that?
Such a good question. I actually love talking about this. So there is a balance to it because I like to make music for me, Gabrielle, and make music for Zingara, which at the end of the day is the same thing. And then so it's like, I know that my fans, my supporters, like when I make music similar to Astra, since that's like what started everything. And I also enjoy like having and talking about these type of experiences. But in my album in particular, like I have songs that I definitely wrote for like me and my emotional release, and songs that I know will probably get more of a general crowd reaction and love, if that makes sense. There's like a balance to like being too emotional and like, connecting to fans that way, and then just leaving something kind of blank for people to interpret. And then for my live shows, I also have a lot of remixes and flips and edits I make that I call my little like DJ tools that I specifically make with like samples and music that I know is like popping right now. And it's still really fun to do. So it's hard to do both at once for sure, but it's like the balance of finding like joy in both of it and making sure that there is room for me to like truly write from like my soul, at the same time push for the direction that music is going.
How much of an impact? Because I remember this was around the same time where, again, the wife sends me a link. She's like, vote for Zingara. Excision has a contest going. Well, big fans of
I love
her.
your wife.
Yeah,
So
she's yeah. Goodness. She she was so funny during the Sorry to make this about me. She was so funny during the pandemic because like I'm the kind of person when we book festivals and concerts and raves, I'm like I feel like I'm so busy. I catalog something fun is on the way. And then I'm like in the trenches, and then we get there. I'm like, oh, nice. We get to go have fun this weekend. She's the opposite. She like uses the festivals and the concerts and the raves as the motivation to like drag her through work. And
mm,
so during the pandemic, we'd keep booking tickets that would inevitably get canceled because there were lockdowns, and every time was this like crushing experience for her. And I'm like, will you please stop getting excited? There is nothing to get excited for. But she keeps the enthusiasm alive in my life, so I'm glad
yeah,
she made it
yeah.
out of that one.
I love that.
Yeah. How much did that Excision-based music initiative, what sort of impact did that have on your career and kind of
Oh gosh. That the whole team has been so supportive of my project. First of all, when I entered that, I totally did not expect to win that. I actually at first when I got the email, I thought it was junk. I thought it was like junk mail. I was like, there's no way. And then it just like the shock of like, oh my gosh, like this, I actually, I got this. And so I got booked for, Base Canyon and Lost Lands. They also, I got like a ton of like musical help and like plugins and like classes, which completely helped me because before, like the whole point of me entering it was I'm at a loss for my project. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't even afford to like say yes to these shows because when you
mm-hmm.
first start touring, you get like maybe $250, but then you have to pay for your flight, your hotel, your transpo, So I was like saying no to shows. I didn't know what to do. And so just like that little sum of money, like not only did it help me and my project, I also got to help my mom out. And I also, just with the classes and plugins, like I barely had anything at that point besides when I was going to school and using like those like computers and equipment because I couldn't afford any of it. Like plugins are expensive. And so it just made a huge impact on my personal life, my career, and my musical journey, and also learning how to deal with a lot of hate comments too through that. Because I got so much personal hate when I won, and I just kind of had to, it got to the point where I almost said no because people
Wow.
were so rude to me online. And then I had to remind myself, these people probably don't even know my first name. Like they know nothing about me and like, what I've personally been through and like why I've entered. So yeah, I mean, it's just like it was like a whole different universe was open up after I got that freaking email. And I'm just really grateful because ever since then, the whole team has just been so supportive and yeah, like just blessings. I'm like getting the chills. So yeah.
I think what I've learned dealing with, because some of the EDM is like the side job I mostly cover, mixed martial arts, UFC, which
Oh, cool.
does not have the
Yeah.
most refined. Yeah, all the belts. I know. I used to have a DJ deck up here. I took it home to fiddle with. It does not have the most like refined fan base, if I'm putting it politely. And what are some of the tools like you've adopted to help you sort of be like, nope, 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 not gonna let that energy in right now?
Well, yeah, that's a lot because like growing up when it's like learning about like energy and universal exchange, period, like what goes around comes around. I talk about in my songs, everything comes in three. Like I'm a huge believer in like karma and like when people do someone else dirty, like you don't have to, it's coming their way.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I get hate comments, I try to look at it as number one, they're probably hurting on the inside to leave something like that. And so I send them like little internal, like, I wish them the best.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll respond like, do you want a cookie? Like, I try to make friends with them. And if they're not having it, then I'll like, I just started this new thing where I'll respond with like a little party pooper hat, like picture. But yeah, I kind of like, I'm like, don't take it personally. I've also been on the internet since I was young
Mm-hmm.
posting videos. So I'm used to the hate and the bullying and stuff. So yeah, it's just kind of understanding that person's probably going through it. They see me, I'm like successful, and a lot of people don't aren't as blessed and lucky as me. And so I just kind of take it that way and just again, like they don't know me. And it definitely gets hard some days and it can definitely be triggering, but then I just have to like remind myself and bring myself back to like that centered place that that doesn't matter, you know? So luckily I have that mindset.
Well, and what I've often found in my experiences is like they would not say those same things to your face, and they
Yeah.
almost when they see someone online, they view them as a blank wall that they can vent at with
Yeah.
no repercussions. It's such a like disconnected experience that I don't think they
Yeah.
understand the power that their words have sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like down to have a conversation with them, like online or in person.
Hmm.
Like, yo, you want to like it's never gotten to that point.
Scrap. No.
But you know what I mean? Like I'm totally there to talk to you or like, if you have a concern or like an actual like real comment, like I'm down to get into it in a like calm way because obviously people we're all different, we're all raised differently, we all have different perspectives on literally everything. And like with my own background, I'm down to have conversations with different opinions. So it's like I'm just lucky I can look at it that way because I do know hate can definitely get to people, and I've had a lot of it come my direction. So,
I well, I hope that continues to shift in the direction of more love than hate. I told you 15 minutes. You said you weren't in a rush. Are you in a rush, Zingara?
no, I'm good.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
because
good.
you keep bringing up good things. You're not, sometimes it's like pulling teeth trying to get answers out of someone, not with you, and I appreciate that, but it just spins all these follow-up questions. You mentioned being able to help out your mom a bit. I feel like that's like the cliche when people make it. They're like, I want to get my mom a house, I want to get my mom a
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 25.
25. How does it feel to at least sort of be taking the steps there towards being able to give back to her?
Oh my gosh, just like her and my family and friends in general, like it can make me cry just because didn't come from a lot and just like being able to even in the tiniest ways like give back to them because she specifically really deserves it has just been an honor and I just hope I can keep doing that and like eventually I'd love to get her a house like eventually I'd love to get her a car like and just even people in general I'd love to be the type of person to go up to people in stores and be like and you get $1,000 and you get a thousand
Shout out
dollars
to
you
Mr.
know
Beast.
like yes, Mr. Beast, I love him. But yeah, like it's just like being able to do that in like big and small ways. And just in general, like why make music, getting comments telling me that I'm helping them in some
Mm.
way is really what like pushes me to keep going. Because we all have our doubts, we all have our days where I'm like, I suck, like what is like imposter syndrome. And then I'm like, wait, I'm being silly. Like this is like blessings on blessings, like my direction. And as long as I have that, I'm gonna use it and like, put that back out into the world.
Speaking of blessings coming your way, what's the wildest perler someone's ever gifted you?
Oh,
Are you like looking at them right now? Like
yeah, they're all
scanning?
around my studio. I'm like, I could probably
We could
turn.
do show and tell.
I have a ton of trolls right there. And I
Yeah.
also have like secret like Mort from Madagascar lore. So someone made me a Mort one. And then for the Code of Dreams tour, someone just made me the two, the angel and the devil and the like the symbol, the writing of it, which is super sick. But yeah, I also have like a cat in like ramen, which is super cute and awesome. I have like trolls on perlers, like I have like racks of them. I everything I get, I keep where I try to hang up in some
Nice.
way. So yeah, like I don't even know. I guess like people hanging up trolls on perlers for me has been so funny each time because they're all like hanging up like awkwardly. But yeah, maybe the trolls.
If anyone in the comment section wants to tell me how I melt them so they don't break all the time, I'd really appreciate that. But
Yeah, I don't get it. And I don't get it. And I just like the time and talent, like when they give me these things, I'm just like, how did you know?
mhm.
How did you do that? And like, can I pay you? Because like this is like real, like incredible art, like hanging up on my walls. And people are like, where did you get it? I'm like, my supporters like made it for me.
Mhm.
Like it's just so thoughtful. But yeah, I'm so thankful for that too, because yeah, this we have like a joke, my studio is like Toy Story in here because there's so many gifts from people that are just so silly. Like
That's sick.
we
I
have
love it.
what is it, the Squishmallow, like little all the little guys
Hmm.
hanging up like so when the fan turns on, it's just so funny. They go crazy.
You gotta start putting like fragile packaging on your suitcase just to keep these things safe on the way home.
Literally.
I saw an Instagram reel being like, there aren't. Someone's like, oh, I made a mix of women and bass music, and it's small because there aren't that many. Now, I haven't vetted that, but if that is true, I feel like it's changing. What do you contribute to the rise of women in bass music? I mean, you, Asteria, Level Up, Alley Cat. I could go on and on.
Yeah, like there's I think that when people say that, it it's kind of almost like, for lack of a better term, like a clueless thought at this point because there's so many women in bass music and in the music world. It's literally just putting them on. Like there's always, and not in a way of like an all women show. It's just like it happened to be that way.
Hmm.
And when I first started out with this project, I was more actively involved in Girl Gang, which is something Jeannie started to help boost up a lot of women, different connections, like releasing music. And so Jeannie has helped like a ton and made that little posse of girlies in the scene. And yeah, I mean, I just think in general it's just like supporting supporting artists that you fuck with their music, not because of what they look like or who they are. And yeah, it's just also funny to me when people tell me that I'm like their favorite like female artist. I'm like, why? Thank you. But also, we can just favorite artists. You know what I mean? Like, it's like almost because it's so talked about that it's like separated even more because it's
Hmm.
like so pushed in that direction. Like, who's your favorite girl? Where it's like just who's your favorite. But there's just again, there's so many incredible women in the scene. They're all so deserving and putting them on because they deserve it, not because of who, what, where, why, how, what they got going on. Um, yeah, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for Jeannie and Girl Gang and all of my girls, Alsteria, like you mentioned. We both came up in the scene together. She was like one of my first friends in the scene. So it's really special getting to watch her evolve at the same time. It like when she gets opportunities, it almost tells
Yeah.
me it feels like as if I got it. Like
Yeah.
I'll get like just excited or nervous for her. Like I'm playing Lost Lands, but she's playing Lost Lands. I'm like, Allison's playing Lost Lands. Like, let's
Yeah, we
go.
gotta get one of those B2Bs set up for you guys.
I know, right? Like, absolutely. Anytime, any place.
You did sort of tee it, you did sort of already touch on it a little bit, but I just want to ask if it's okay if we touch on loss and grief a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you lost a lot of people close to you, right, when you were starting out the musical process. What sort of role has music played in helping you sort of channel that into a healthy creative outlet?
Yeah. Crazy. I sound kind of like a lunatic when I talk about this conversation because the way I view loss and that kind of stuff is a little different because of my connection to
Hmm.
spirit. Like I feel it's so weird to say, but I feel like closer to my loved ones, the ones that have passed. I like feel their energy all the time. And every time I start to question it, there's like things shown to me in like the craziest. I have stories for days. And so when they did pass, so in 2017 I lost one of my best friends, Brandon, my grandpa, and my friend Noy, who actually told me that I should be a DJ. And so I was like, dang, I really want to I really want to do this even more for them. And I felt that sometimes when I have like musical ideas, it comes from like another voice in my head. And when I write music, I can get into like such a flow state that I really feel their energy like channeled through me. And so I just, you know, when I started talking online more about grief and loss and all that kind of stuff and started putting it into my music, I realized that some of these songs just felt like they were like already written and meant to
Hmm.
be by like if they didn't pass, then this wouldn't have happened, and then this wouldn't have happened, and these blessings wouldn't have came through like in this way, and this message wouldn't have came. So like I'm very grateful for the lessons and experiences I've had and had to go through since they've passed away because it's led me into a way to help people dealing with their own grief
Hmm.
in a way that like it is new to a lot of people. And for me, like I've been through
Yeah.
it and I know how to go through it and deal with it and work with it in a weird way. So it's just like for The Stars Are Calling Me, it's dedicated to them and just like some experiences I had. And it just literally felt like it was already written. Like it felt like it was really
Hmm.
written from the stars. And it just, yeah, it's just magical seeing it all like come to life in these stories and experiences like actually manifest into reality. And yeah, like I work with grief like directly and like channeled, and it's just like it's magical in a weird, twisted way.
God, I love
Um,
that so much.
yeah,
Last one on
like
this before we finish on some rapid fire stuff. As someone who doesn't share your spirit level of spirituality, I lost my mom when I was a teen, and whenever I have dreams about her, it's like a little difficult to digest. But I'm always so grateful to have had that experience. Whether you want to say it's real or not doesn't really matter. It felt real, and for me, that's very validating and it's very comforting. What sort of I know you have people in your life visit you a lot in your dreams. What sort of emotions do those encounters elicit for you?
so there's a difference. There's actually like whole studies done on like grief dreams. And
Hmm.
I call them visitation dreams. There's a difference because your loved ones can sometimes come to you. It's a creation of your own subconscious mind when you're dreaming, right? So when you have ones where you're like panicking with them, it's like we're canceling that one out because
Mm.
that's like my own inner anxiety, right? Then there's experiences that genuinely do feel real and that I'm self-aware in, and that's the difference. And the emotions are just like are nuts. Like two quick little examples is the week that my friend Brandon passed away, he knew I was super involved with spirit world and dream world. He came to me in a dream. We are standing on the edge of a cliff, huge waterfall, crazy colors. Like I can't even describe to you what I was looking at. And he looks at me and he's like, these are some of the places I get to go now, and gave me a hug and disappeared. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, screw you, first of all. I want to come. Like, I want to, like, okay, like you get to explore the universe. Cool. And so it was just like crazy magical. Like, I woke up and I was like, yeah, like guys, he actually came. Like he actually did what he promised. And then my grandpa, a couple years, the anniversary of him passing, which I didn't know was the anniversary of him passing, he came to me in a dream and I was like, I need to interview you. Like I've been trying to find you. I have questions for you. And I started asking him, like, what does it feel like when you die? Like just all these questions about death and just past lives. He started showing me his past lives. Long story short, the last question I asked him was, "Is God real?" And he started laughing, and then I woke up. And it was
Oh.
within like a I was already awake and I went back to sleep. So it was in like a 30-minute time period where I shouldn't have technically even been able to dream. And so these emotions, it's like it just feels like magic. It's like I get so excited. I'm like, they came to me, like I got info. Sometimes they'll come to me and actually like tell me like real things I need to do, or like real things my family needs to do. They're like, sell this house, or like blah blah blah, like tell this person that. And so it can definitely gets when I get emotional and like I cry, it's like a happy tear instead
Hmm.
of a sad one. But it's totally okay when you go through grief to have moments where you're feeling fine and then the next moment where you are feeling actually sad. And that's also like a message I want to give people who have lost someone, because it's like it's years ago, at that point it's like sometimes people are like, I shouldn't be feeling this way, but it's totally normal to like come back into that and cry. I actually call it the spirit tears. I have a song called Spirit Tears, because sometimes when you feel that way, you start to cry and you don't know why. And you're like, why am I crying? Like, I can't, it's like you're crying without helping it. And I call it the spirit tears because their energy is just always ever existing. And you can kind of just feel it. So, yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for your candor. I appreciate you being so open to talking about this. It rarely happens, but this is one of the days where I regret canceling my Zoom Pro subscription because we got 8 minutes before this thing kicks us out. I'd like to run you. You know what? I'll probably be running around backstage at Shambhala, so hopefully I'll run into
Hey,
you and we can pick up
yeah,
the story there.
yeah,
I would like to run you through some rapid fire, but I'm gonna have to ask you to try your best to keep these a sentence
yeah,
or two tops, okay? I
yeah.
believe in us though. Okay. First up, some visualization. You're at Forbidden Kingdom, playing for an empty crowd, not a soul in sight. 1 p.m. You hate your life. But then the doors open and they start rushing to the stage. What is the how? Like, just walk me through the energy you're feeling in that moment.
Fuck. I literally, long story short, I cannot believe that this is my life, and I am so happy and in love with this, and also so scared.
Fair. What lost music file crushed you the most?
Astra.
Did you lose everything? Because I know you lost the Chemical Dreams VIP. Yeah.
I lost that one, yeah, because that was misorganized. I've remade Astra so many freaking times. I deserve to lose that file, but yeah, I did lose that one.
Do we need you to get you a Google Drive or like what's going
I have
on?
all of it. I have like at least 6 hard drives I'm looking at right now. I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea
You
into and
might
out.
need to like have a copy with someone you trust really deeply if you can't trust yourself on this
I
one.
deserve to lose that one
Okay.
though. Like it's
Uh,
over.
where do I know you're a huge CloZee fan, as am I. Where does remixing Visions rank among your like WTF moments?
Um, Everything doing to do with CloZee in general is like Spirit Mom, what the fuck? Like it's up there. It's up high.
I saw you rocking one at the Vancouver show at the Red Room. I've been known to rock a few myself. Sprouts, overrated or underappreciated?
Underappreciated always.
How do you feel about all these spin-offs? We're getting like the flowers and the butterflies.
I love it. I just went on Amazon and ordered a shit ton more trinkets. I need to make my own too, but don't go into the
Ooh.
trinket hole of Amazon. You'll stay there for days.
Half of them will show up broken as well, which sucks, but you know, you gotta do what
Oh,
you got. All right. Do I have any more here for you? Oh yeah, we did the Perler one. Okay, let's just end on this. Who are the four Avengers of bass music in your opinion?
mm. That one might take me a second to think
That's okay.
about.
You got like
Um,
5 minutes.
my people,
You-
Telestream, CloZee, Grizz, a fourth one. Those are like my like pyramid of three. I'm gonna blank on a fourth.
I mean, we could leave a door open for Zingara to walk through one day. You know,
Yeah, we could leave that door.
I like it. Zingara, I'm so appreciative of your time today. I want to leave you with the last word. So very quickly on my end, thanks everyone for watching the video. Subscribe, tap the bell, thumbs up, all that stuff. Full written feature with Zingara over at edm.com. The Code of Dreamz drop in June 6th. If there's anything you want to tell the people, the floor is yours.
Like, comment, subscribe, or else.
There we go. There we go. Scratch my
Thank you for
neck.
having me. I appreciate it.